Beneath the quiet forest floor, hidden from sight and often ignored, rises one of nature's greatest architectural wonders, a towering mound built grain by millions of tiny insects. From a distance, it looks like nothing more than a strange pile of earth, weathered by rain and sun. But as the camera draws closer, brushing past the rough outer surface, the truth is revealed. This is not a mound, it is a city. A living, breathing superstructure created entirely by termites. Along the outer walls, worker termites crawl with astonishing speed and precision. Their tiny feet tap against the hardened clay, checking for cracks, temperature shifts, and changes in humidity. To them, the exterior of the mound is more than a wall, it is the shell that protects an entire civilization. Following them downward, the camera slips into a narrow entrance tunnel carved with perfect symmetry. Within seconds, the darkness begins to glow faintly as branching tunnels appear, miles of interconnected passages lit only by the soft reflection of moist clay. Termites move in organized lines, flowing like rivers of light through the corridors. Each one knows exactly where to go, guided not by sight, because termites are nearly blind, but by chemical signals imprinted along the walls. Workers carry sand particles one by one, packing them into weak spots, reinforcing corners, and reshaping the architecture with constant dedication. Others chew rotting wood, breaking cellulose into soft pulp. In their mouths, this wood becomes the foundation of the colony's food system. They pass droplets of digested material mouth to mouth in a behavior called trophallaxis, a form of social feeding that shares nutrients, enzymes, and even microbial colonies essential for survival. To termites, eating is a community effort. Deeper inside, the tunnels widen into a warm, humid nursery chamber. Hundreds of tiny white termite eggs glisten like pearls under soft light. Nurse termites tend to them with absolute devotion, gently rotating them to prevent fungus, cleaning them with specialized saliva, and checking each cluster with their antennae. Here, helpless larvae wriggle weakly, surrounded by caretakers who feed them pre-digested food and protect them from the slightest danger. In a quieter chamber nearby, soldiers stand guard over freshly laid eggs. Their massive jaws stretch outward, ready to attack anything that moves. They cannot eat on their own, but they can fight. Suddenly, a faint vibration passes through the soil. The soldiers freeze. Another vibration, closer. Somewhere in the tunnels, an intruder approaches. A shadowy insect enters the narrow passage. Instantly, soldier termites rush forward, blocking the corridor with their armored heads. They charge the invader with terrifying force, biting, pushing, and overwhelming it. Within moments, the threat is neutralized. Workers arrive, sealing the breach with fresh soil and restoring the tunnel as if nothing ever happened. Beyond this defensive zone lies one of the most important chambers in the entire colony. Thousands of termites move in coordinated loops through a massive hall, the central transport hub. Here, workers tend to the colony's greatest resource, the fungus gardens. These gardens are the beating heart of termite nutrition. Workers place chewed wood onto spongy fungus combs, nurturing the rich white nodules that grow from them. This fungus breaks down cellulose, the one thing termites cannot digest on their own. Even the strongest soldiers and the most fragile larvae depend entirely on the workers and their cultivated fungi. Near the very center of the colony is the chamber that everything else exists to protect, the royal chamber. Guarded by soldiers forming a tight barrier. The entrance is narrow and heavily reinforced. Inside lies the queen, an enormous, pulsating body stretching across the chamber floor. Her abdomen swells rhythmically as she produces egg after egg, sometimes thousands in a single day. Workers rush toward her, delicately carrying away each newly laid egg. Beside her rests the king, smaller but equally essential. Unlike ants or bees, the termite king remains with the queen for life, maintaining the balance of pheromones that dictate the colony's structure and survival. All around them, termites work tirelessly to maintain the colony's air system. They adjust humidity vents, tiny openings that regulate airflow. Warm air rises through tall ventilation shafts engineered into the mound. Cooler air is pulled upward from below, creating a natural circulation system so sophisticated that modern architects study termite mounds to design energy-efficient buildings. Outside, clouds gather and a storm begins. Raindrops pound the mound's surface, softening the outer layers. Immediately, worker termites reinforce weak sections with fresh soil while others redirect water through underground drainage channels. High above, a bird lands and begins to peck at the mound. Soldiers scramble upward, forming layered defenses at the intrusion point. Even under attack, the colony repairs and adapts. As the rain fades, life resumes. In a colossal interior chamber, termites transport food in endless cycles. Workers tend to the vast fungus gardens, ensuring each section receives the right level of moisture and warmth. A nearby larva grows larger. Monitored constantly by nurses, termites groom one another, removing dust, spores, and harmful bacteria from their bodies, a critical step in colony hygiene. In another chamber, a pupa is inspected closely. After days of development, a new worker emerges, joining the colony's workforce within moments. Nearby, freshly grown soldiers test their powerful jaws on pieces of wood, strengthening themselves for future battles. Further below, termites expand new tunnels into untouched soil. They discover an ancient tree root, and within minutes the root swarms with workers harvesting wood. Inside their guts, specialized microbes break down cellulose into nutrients. These workers then carry digested pellets back into the colony to feed others. A young termite begins learning the pheromone trails that guide movement throughout the colony. As it walks, experienced workers refresh fading pheromone markers along key routes. In a pitch-black chamber, soldiers tap their heads against the tunnel walls, sending rhythmic vibrations, communication signals that travel far through the soil. Suddenly, enemy ants are detected. The colony shifts instantly into battle mode. Soldiers assemble in tight barricades at narrow tunnels. Ant invaders rush in. A brutal clash erupts. Termites bite relentlessly. Ants strike with precision, but the soldiers hold the line. Eventually, the ants retreat. Workers move in to clean fallen termites, seal damaged tunnels, and restore order. As peace returns, the colony turns its attention back to daily life. Root networks are hollowed out to create new passageways. Cool air enters lower tunnels as workers adjust vents, while heat escapes upward through termite-engineered chimneys. The fungus gardens thrive, maintained at a perfect microclimate nowhere else found in nature. In the nursery chamber, nurses feed growing larvae. Throughout the colony, workers distribute queen pheromones, chemical signals that maintain social order and prevent workers from developing into reproductives. Deep in a hidden chamber, a pupa slowly develops wings. Winged termites, alates, begin gathering, preparing for the most important event of their lives. Sunlight filters through a newly opened tunnel, illuminating the chamber. The alates line up, wings shimmering. Outside, the sky darkens. Rain begins to fall. This is the moment they have been waiting for. Thousands of winged termites surge upward, bursting from vents into the sky like living smoke. Birds dive and snap at them mid-air, picking off dozens, yet thousands more escape, scattering across the forest. When a pair finally lands on soft soil, they immediately snap off their wings, a symbolic act that marks the beginning of a new colony. The two dig into the earth, forming a tiny founding chamber. The new queen lays her first batch of eggs. The king tends to them as the first workers hatch. Emerging into a world of darkness and responsibility, they expand the initial tunnels, build the first miniature fungus garden, and slowly, the colony begins to resemble the structure of their ancestors. More termites emerge to expand the tunnels, strengthen the walls, and defend the new kingdom. Ventilation shafts rise, soldiers patrol, workers gather near surface vents. Sensing fresh air entering the mound, they mix soil and saliva to sculpt the exterior, expanding the mound upward chamber by chamber. The fungus garden flourishes. The nursery grows crowded. The young queen produces pheromones that spread through the tunnels, shaping the population. Over time, tunnels connect deeper levels. Soldiers patrol outer tunnels for new threats. Workers haul food up winding passageways. Humidity chambers are reinforced. The colony grows stronger with every passing day. Termites fill the chambers in perfect coordination. The walls pulse with vibrations as communication never stops. The mound rises higher, becoming a monumental structure. And then, one day, The landscape shows two termite mounds standing side by side, the old and the new, testament to generations of persistence. Across the horizon, dozens more dot the earth like ancient towers. From a wide cinematic pullback, the forest is revealed as a mosaic of termite civilizations, shaping the soil, the ecosystem, and the very land we walk upon. In silence, without ever being seen, termites have engineered a world far more complex than we ever imagined, a world built grain by grain, breath by breath, through millions of tiny lives working as one.
The new mound, already reaching a noticeable height, is the result of relentless, coordinated effort.